welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Anna and I make New York City based adventure videos spiked with love and positivity. Today we are going to be exploring Central Park, a classic New York City landmark. Along the way, I'll discuss some of the history of the park and also show you some of the main attractions. Alright, let's get going.
During this tour, we will visit 13 of the top attractions in Central Park between 59th and 86th Streets. The park extends above 86th Street for another 24 blocks, but that will be for another time. I'll add a link at the end of this video to my Conservatory Gardens upload, which is a beautiful gated section of the park at 105th Street and 5th Avenue. Central Park was first opened in the winter of 1859 and was the first landscaped public park in the United States. Wealthy individuals were proponents of creating a park comparable to those in London and Paris. In 1853, the state legislature authorized the city of New York to acquire more than 700 acres of land in the center of Manhattan. The land was unable to be used for apartment buildings or homes due to its irregular terrain, swamps, and large rocks. The park is currently 843 acres. In 1857, the Central Park Commission held the country's first landscape design contest. The plan, submitted by Frederick Law Olmsted and Calvert Vaux, was selected. Their vision was to create a pastoral landscape in the English Romantic tradition. Located in one of the busiest cities in the world, the park blends seamlessly into the traffic with its 4 transverse roads 8 feet below the park's surface. These roads carry crosstown traffic connecting the east and west sides of Manhattan. Here's a fun fact. Did you know that the rocky ridges were blasted out with more gunpowder than was later fired at the Battle of Gettysburg? Workers moved nearly 3 million cubic yards of soil and planted more than 270,000 trees and shrubs. Lakes were constructed on the site of former swamps. The zoo, first given permanent quarters in 1871, quickly became the park's most popular feature. Generally, the zoo is open year-round from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Adult tickets cost $20 and children ages 3 to 12 cost $15. You can see penguins, monkeys, sea lions, birds, visit the petting zoo, and more. It's small enough that you can get through it in a few hours. At 64th Street on the east side is the DELACORTE clock. What's special about it is that every half hour between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m., the 5 bronze animal statues depicted to be playing instruments move around the clock on the same track as nursery rhymes and other songs play. The penguin, kangaroo, bear, elephant, goat, and hippo statues were created by Italian sculptor Andrea Spadini. The clock was unveiled in 1965 and was a gift to the park from the publisher and philanthropist George DELACORTE.
Here's a fun fact about Central Park. If you get lost or have an emergency and need to call the police, let them know your location by finding the number on the lampposts. As you can see, each lamppost has a number, and it lets you know what street you're on and the number of that lamppost, so the police know exactly where to come. This is normally where they have the ice skating rink during the winter, and during the fall they tend to do rollerblading here, but it looks like today there's really nothing going on. And yeah, it just rained, so maybe they can't do it if it rained.
If you're interested in going ice skating at the Wollman Rink, check the website in the description box below for tickets. In the early 1950s and early 1960s, private benefactors contributed the Wollman skating rink and other areas of the park. The Central Park Carousel, located mid-park at 65th Street, is open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. weather permitting. Be sure to bring cash here. It's $3 per person per ride. Around 250,000 people ride on the carousel every year. It first opened in 1871. Since then, there have been 4 models of the carousel. The first was powered by a mule and horse, the next 2 were steam-powered and destroyed by fire, and the last one was found abandoned in an old trolley terminal in 1950. The current carousel was originally crafted in 1908 by Solomon Stein and Harry Goldstein. It's one of the nation's largest merry-go-rounds, featuring 57 hand-carved horses and 2 decorative chariots. While still in working condition, it's over 100 years old and has undergone many rounds of repair and maintenance. Sheep Meadow, located on the west side between 66th and 69th Streets, is a 15-acre lawn. It's the best example of the park's purpose as a retreat from urban life. It's a popular destination for relaxing, sunbathing, reading, and picnicking, although when it was first opened, it was meant to be looked at rather than used. It was made to look like a pastoral landscape, an idealized country landscape that was open and expansive. A flock of sheep grazed there and kept the grass manicured. The sheep lived in a building known as the Sheepfold, now home to the restaurant Tavern on the Green, which is quite a nice place, by the way. While the lawn looks natural, keep in mind that it was constructed. Soil was added, rocks were blasted away, and trees and grass were planted. It ended up being one of the most expensive park construction projects. Sandy volleyball courts are located right next to it. Carriage rides can be taken through the park. A 30-minute ride costs $120. Check the link in the description box for more details related to carriage capacity and policies, or if you want to purchase tickets. The Loeb Boathouse is the only Manhattan venue right on a lake. You can host events like weddings here. The boathouse is a haven for avid bird watchers, and you can even see butterflies. 26 species have been noted. Boating on the lake in Central Park became popular in the 1860s. In 1872, Central Park landscape architect Calvert Vaux designed a 2-story Victorian wooden boathouse. In 1924, Vaux's boathouse was replaced by a rustic wooden structure. A $305,000 donation from investment banker and philanthropist Carl M. Loeb and his wife Adeline helped create the Loeb Boathouse that stands today. It officially opened in March of 1954. Mid-Park at 72nd Street is the Bethesda Fountain, one of the largest fountains in New York, measuring 26 feet high by 96 feet wide. It's one of the most well-known fountains in the world. The statue at its center was the only sculpture to have been commissioned as a part of Central Park's original design. This neoclassical sculpture, also known as Angel of the Waters, features an 8-foot bronze angel who stands above 4 small cherubim representing health, purity, temperance, and peace. The angel blesses the water that flows into the fountain. To the south is the Bethesda Terrace, and as we look up towards the north, we can see the Loeb Boathouse. Bethesda Terrace is a popular place for wedding and engagement photo shoots, various performances, and other wonderful photo opportunities.
Right now we're on the Bow Bridge. This bridge was featured in a lot of romantic movies, and I love it so much. It's really beautiful.
West of the Bethesda Terrace, Mid-Park at 74th Street, is the Bow Bridge. It's one of the most iconic and photographed features of Central Park. This Victorian-era bridge was built in 1862. It spans 60 feet across the Central Park Lake. It's a popular romantic spot and has been featured in the movies Manhattan, The Way We Were, and Keeping the Faith. The bridge gets its name from its arc shape, which resembles that of an archer's bow. It's the oldest and only cast iron bridge in Central Park, and is the second oldest cast iron bridge in the entire United States. It was designed by Calvert Vaux and Jacob Ray Mould, with classical Greek refinement incorporating elements of Gothic, Neoclassical, and Renaissance design. The walkway was constructed from Brazilian walnut wood, which turns a deep red color when wet. Along the top outer edges are 8 cast iron replicas of planting urns, which originally adorned the bridge in the early 1900s.
Yum, pretzel. Now we're walking through the Rambles. Now, pro tip about the Rambles is this is supposed to be the part in the park where you can get lost. And as you can see, we're not that far away from the streets because I can still hear the ambulance in the distance. But over here, there aren't too many people. Not a lot of people get lost in the Rambles. But if you do come here at night, be aware of raccoons. You may see raccoons coming across your path, scuttling into the garbage bins and all that because they do come out at night. But you know, they're cute to see. Just be warned, if you do join the Rambles at night, that's what's gonna happen. Okay, so which way do we go? Left or right? Do we toss a coin? What do you think?
Left, left, left.
All right, let's do it. Left it is.
If you want to experience the woods in the center of New York, the Ramble is the best place to visit. It's the most well-known of the park's 3 woodland landscapes. Its 36 acres were designed to look like the forests of upstate New York. Along the way, you'll see winding paths and trails, rustic bridges, streams, rock outcroppings, and dense plantings. It's one of the best places in the park for bird watching, because it's an important stop along the Atlantic Flyway, the migratory path for birds traveling to and from their nesting grounds. Creating a patch of wild nature in the center of the city was quite a challenge. This so-called wild garden was in fact heavily designed and managed. There's so much upkeep needed to maintain this type of landscape, compared to a regular forest that is naturally self-sustaining.
It's like we're in the woods.
Literally.
Belvedere Castle is one of the most iconic features in the park. Belvedere means beautiful view in Italian. This miniature castle is located atop Vista Rock, the second highest natural point in Central Park. It was completed in 1872 out of Manhattan schist, was designed as a place from which to enjoy views of the surrounding landscape, and originally had no windows or doors. It was intended to be an open-air lookout tower. You can see Turtle Pond and Great Lawn to the north and the Ramble to the south, plus the surrounding cityscape. Like many of the park structures, the use and purpose of the Belvedere Castle changed over time. In 1919, the U.S. Weather Bureau converted the building into a weather station, adding windows and doors and creating offices inside the structure. When they moved out of the building in the 1960s, it fell into disrepair. In 1983 and 2019, the Central Park Conservancy renovated the building. When you walk in, you'll be greeted by the gift shop. You need to patiently wait online so that you can take the stairs up to the second and third floors.
Stairs are so narrow. Gotta be careful right here. Out here first. Wow, beautiful. How nice. This is the first tier. Ah, you can see the stadium. This is where they have shows. Outdoor theater. Now we're at Belvedere Castle. This is where the weather probe is. So on the news, when you hear what is the temperature in Central Park, this is where the probe is located. And look at this seat. Isn't this so cute? It just feels so regal. I love it. All right, up one more level. Oh, this is so narrow. And to think people gotta come down using these stairs too. Oh, wow. Oh, we're up on the top tier. This is our view. How beautiful. All right, here we go. Gotta take it little by little. Bye, Castle. You were nice. See you next time.
The reservoir is the largest body of water in Central Park, located mid-park between 86th and 96th Streets. This gatehouse, one of 3, houses pipes and other infrastructure. A 1.58-mile track circles the perimeter and is a popular destination for runners. There are many types of aquatic birds here too. The reservoir was built between 1858 and 1862 to provide additional capacity for the city's first receiving reservoir, which was present before park construction and was located to the south of this reservoir. The reservoir holds more than 1 billion gallons of water. It spans 106 acres and is 40 feet deep. At the time of its construction, it was the world's largest man-made water body. The first reservoir was filled and redesigned as the Great Lawn. In 1994, the reservoir was named for Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, who used to jog here, in honor of her contributions to the city. The obelisk was created around 1425 BCE in an area north of modern-day Cairo in Egypt. It sits on a rocky hill known as Greywacke Knoll, across from the Metropolitan Museum of Art. The obelisk is a single piece of stone carved out of granite, which weighs 220 tons. It was one of 2 obelisks commissioned by Pharaoh Thutmose III for the Temple of the Sun near modern-day Cairo. It's believed that obelisks represented eternity and immortality. Their long forms function to connect the heavens and earth. The Romans discovered the 2 obelisks in 12th BCE, partially buried in the sand. They transported the obelisks to Alexandria and installed them at the entrance to a temple dedicated to Julius Caesar. The temple had been built by Cleopatra, which is one idea of why they were nicknamed Cleopatra's Needles. In the 1870s, the Egyptian government gave 1 obelisk to England, and the second one was gifted to the United States. Its transportation to New York took over a year, as it was a significant challenge. It was installed in Central Park in January 1881. Be careful when you cross these roads in Central Park. Look both ways for traffic and be especially aware of bicyclists. Lots of people ride their bikes very quickly down these roads.
This is my favorite lake in Central Park. Sometimes during the spring and the summer months, you'll see people taking little rowboats out onto the water. And of course, you'll see the occasional duck on the water too. It's such a lovely and peaceful place to be.
Conservatory Water is a beautiful area filled with attractions geared towards children. Its main feature is a pond, known as the Model Boat Pond. You can rent miniature boats to take onto the water from the Loeb Boathouse next to the pond, which also houses a cafe. 2 significant statues are in the area: Alice in Wonderland, one of the most popular statues in the park, and the monument to children's book author Hans Christian Andersen. Model boating draws from long tradition in Paris parks. This pond was the setting in E.B. White's 1945 story Stuart Little and its 1999 movie. The pond is named for the greenhouse that was originally planned at the site. It was designed as a reflecting pool in contrast to the park's other more naturalistic-looking water bodies. Alice in Wonderland was another gift from George DELACORTE. The donation was a gift to the children of New York City and also a memorial for his wife, Margarita, who helped him establish his publishing business. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland was her favorite book to read to her children. The Spanish-American sculptor José de Creft created the statue of Alice. The dedication ceremony took place in May 1959. 11 of the DELACORTE's grandchildren unveiled Alice. Afterwards, they climbed onto the statue, starting a tradition that still stands today.
Thank you so much for watching this week's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to turn on that notification bell so you don't miss my videos when they go live on Thursday evenings. In the meantime, let's keep in touch on Instagram at Miss Anna Adventures. I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you in next week's video. Take care. Bye.
Acá tan solo a ver si